I am speaking. We are about to start. Distinguished Chief Guest, Honorable Guest of Honor, esteemed Director NIT Srinagar, respected dignitaries, dear teachers and students, a very good morning to all of you. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam once said, learning gives creativity, creativity leads to thinking, thinking provides knowledge, and knowledge makes you great. With these refreshing words, I warmly welcome you all to the first International Conference on Sustainable Technology for Power and Energy Systems, STPES 2022, held here at NIT Srinagar. My name is Ronak Nazir, MTech student from Department of Electrical Engineering, Power Electronics and Electric Drives, NIT Srinagar, and I will be your host for the day. STPES 2022 is a very first in the series of international conference initiated by the Department of Electrical Engineering, National Institute of Technology, Srinagar, as a host institute in collaboration with Indian Institute of Technology, Jammu. With over 98 papers accepted out of 148 for inclusion in IEEE Explore, STPES 2022 is a perfect place to investigate future technology of power and energy presented by leading industry and academic experts in the corresponding field. As you all know, the theme of the conference is a step towards green, clean, and reliable energy. I again welcome you all and thank you for gracing this occasion with your esteemed presence. To begin with the inauguration ceremony, may I start with inviting our honorable dignitaries on the dais. It will be my pleasure to invite our respectable chief guest and keynote speaker, Professor Srinivas Singh, Director, Indian Institute of Information Technology and Management, Gwalior, IIITM, to please have a distinguished seat on the dais. May we please welcome him with a warm round of applause, please. Thank you, sir. Our guest of honor, Professor Manoj Singh Gaur, Director, IIT Jammu, and Professor Rakesh Sehgal, Director, NIT Srinagar, will grace this occasion with their on-line presence. Let's put our hands together and welcome them. I now welcome Professor M.F. Fani, Dean, RNC, NIT Srinagar, and request him to take his seat on the dais. Can we please have a huge round of applause, please? Thank you, sir. I humbly invite Professor Ijaz Ahmed and request him to take his seat on the dais as the chairman of the conference. Please join me in welcoming him with a huge round of applause. Thank you, sir. I now welcome Dr. Anup Shukla to take his seat on the dais as the convener of the conference. May we please welcome him with a warm round of applause. Thank you, sir. I am pleased to request Professor Abdul Hamid Bhatt to come up on the dais and take his seat as the coordinator of the conference. Please welcome Professor Abdul Hamid Bhatt with a gracious round of applause. Thank you, sir. It's my honor to request Dr. Muhammad Abid Azad, HOD, Department of Electrical Engineering, NIT Srinagar, to come up on the dais and take his seat as the co-patron of the conference. Thank you, sir. We extend a very warm welcome to all of you. Now we will start with the facilitation of the guests. I now request Professor Ejaz Ahmed to present a bouquet to Professor Srinivas Singh and extend our warm welcome. Can we please have a huge round of applause, please? I now request Professor Shamim Ahmed Loan to present a bouquet to Professor M. Fani for appreciating his honor. Thank you. I request Dr. Ravi Kumar to present a bouquet to Professor Ejaz Ahmed for his gracious presence. A huge round of applause, please. Thank you. I now request Dr. Javed Iqbal to present a bouquet to Dr. Anup Shukla for gracing the event with his presence. Please have a huge round of applause, please. I now request Dr. Kushal Jagtap to present a bouquet to Professor Abdul Hamid Bhatt and extend a warm welcome. Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Ambika Prasad Shah to present a bouquet to Dr. Mohammad Abid Bazaz for appreciating his esteemed presence. Can we have a huge round of applause, please? Thank you, sir. May I now specially welcome Dr. Mohammad Abid Bazaz, HOD, Department of Electrical Engineering, conference co-patron, for the opening and welcoming remarks.
Thank you. Respected Director NIT Srinagar, Professor Rakesh Sehgal, Professor IIT Jammu, Professor Manoj Gaur, Professor S.N. Singh, Director IITM Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, other dignitaries who have joined us in online and offline mode, on and off the dais, my dear faculty colleagues, delegates who have joined us in either offline mode or online mode, and my very dear students. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the inaugural session of first IEEE conference, International Conference on Sustainable Technology for Power and Energy Systems, being organized jointly by Electrical Engineering Departments of NIT Srinagar and IIT Jammu from 4th to 6th of July 2022. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to Professor S.N. Singh for agreeing, who despite busy schedule agreed to be the chief guest of this inaugural session and also agreed to deliver the keynote lecture. So your presence here is really a matter of pride and honor for all of us. I would also like to take this opportunity to express my heartfelt thanks to the administrative hierarchy of NIT Srinagar and IIT Jammu, headed by Professor Sehgal and Professor Gaur respectively, for facilitating the conduct of this conference at NIT Srinagar. Sir, your constant support and encouragement pushes us to contribute to the best of our capabilities. Thanks are due to Professor Manoj Gaur, Director IIT Jammu, for agreeing to be the guest of honor for this inaugural session. I would like to express my deepest appreciation for the coordinators, conveners, and secretary of this conference who took initiative to conduct this IEEE conference at NIT Srinagar and worked day and night to take it to its logical conclusion. The coordinators and conveners of the conference would explain the rationale behind the theme of the conference, and Dr. Kushal would give you the statistical details about the number of papers received, accepted, and the number of, and started as one of the first few departments in erstwhile REC Srinagar. Our department offers BTech in Electrical Engineering, 2 PG programs in Electrical Power and Energy Systems and Power Electronics and Electric Drives, and PhD in 3 broad specializations: Power and Energy Systems, power electronics and electric drives, and control and automation. At present, around 50 research scholars are registered with our department and are pursuing their research in cutting-edge and thrust areas in power system, drives, and control systems. We have a team of 17 highly qualified and dedicated faculty members who, in addition to their teaching assignments, are pursuing high-quality research in their respective areas of specialization. The quality of research is reflected in the publications in high impact factor journals and the patents granted to the faculty. Many faculty members of the department have been able to get funding for the research projects through national and international funding bodies. Our department frequently conducts short-term courses, workshops, and seminars and webinars on topics of high relevance. A few illustrative research areas in which our departmental faculty is contributing include microgrids, issues related to high penetration of renewables like solar, wind, etc. into the utility grid, control of active and reactive power, fax devices, sensorless control of electric drives, FE modeling of distributed parameter systems, model order reduction, database modeling of power systems, disease modeling, etc. These were some glimpses about the department, and I am hopeful that with the active support of the institute administration, the department will continue growing and contributing in terms of academic and research output. Now, coming to the conference theme, sustainable development and sustainable technologies are buzzwords today in every research area, and power and energy systems is no exception. Sustainable technology in power and energy systems actually refers to maximizing the extraction of power from renewables like wind energy, solar energy, tidal power, etc., and its integration into the main utility grid. I am hopeful that over the next 3 days, the issues related to this would be deliberated upon in detail, and some viable technological solutions would emerge. With these words, I once again thank everybody associated with the conduct of this conference, starting from the authors, the reviewers, the coordinators and conveners, our UG, PG students and research scholars, the departmental faculty, the non-teaching and the supporting staff, and the administrative hierarchy of both NIT Srinagar and IIT Jammu in providing all logistic support to make this event a success. Thank you all, and wishing you all the best of hospitality in this paradise on earth. Thank you.
Okay, now you can continue.
Thank you for your remarkable speech, sir. Thank you for giving a deep insight about our department and the research activities we carry on. Thank you very much, sir. I would now like to invite Professor Ejaz Ahmed, Conference Chairman, to declare the conference open and to add glory to this ceremony with his visionary words. Can we have a huge round of applause, please?
Professor S.N. Singh, Chief Guest of the Conference, Professor M. Afwani, Dean RNC, NIT Srinagar, and other dignitaries on and off the dais. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all of you. Today we have assembled here for the inaugural session of this IEEE conference. The title of this, which is Sustainable Technology for Power and Energy Systems, concerned about generation of electrical energy at a reasonable cost. Initially, it was generate energy at any cost. Then it became generation of electrical energy at a reasonable cost. Then it was told, no, generation of electrical energy at a reasonable cost, but at the same time, protecting the environment. So these 3 E's became common. So in order to protect the environment, you have to at the same time look for some technology which will sustain not only generation of electrical energy, but at the same time, it will protect our environment. That means technology has to be renovated. The sources also have to be renovated. We have to shift from, say, conventional sources to the renewable energy sources so that we not only generate energy at a reasonable cost, but at the same time, we protect the environment. So far as this theme of the conference is concerned, securing a sustainable energy future implies an energy transition that will require a new generation of dedicated engineers and researchers capable of developing, optimizing, and integrating sustainable energy sources including solar power, wind power, and energy from biomass. Because of the intermittency of these sources of energy, storage is an important factor for success. This requires innovative batteries and research into hydrogen as an energy source. New technologies need to be integrated into existing power networks and market structures. The design of new forms of energy distribution, energy market structure, and smart grid is necessary to satisfy the energy need of modern scientists. Engineers in sustainable energy technology have a broad knowledge of the field and can act as a system integrators of the energy transition. They can bring together different energy subsystems into one system. Their engineering skill includes renewable energy generation, distribution system, and storage. In addition, they can integrate systems that can manage the fluctuating energy supply and demand. They are also aware of the challenges of the energy market and innovation management. There's a lot of demand for engineers in this field because governments and industries have ambitious plans for investment in sustainable energy. Sustainable energy technology includes renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, energy from biomass, and technology designed to improve energy efficiency. A transition to a social-based sustainable energy is necessary to be self-sufficient, meet the growing global demand for energy, and address the threat of climate change caused by greenhouse gas emission. This transition will require fundamental innovation affecting the world's energy landscape. Now, we have to now shift from conventional to the non-conventional. So for that, it's a widely accepted fact that we need to transform our power system to the sustainable energy in order to mitigate their negative impact on the natural environment and human health. However, the transformation of itself is challenging and requires overcoming multiple obstacles. The complexity of the process is increasing due to highly variable and weather-driven nature of two major energy sources like solar and wind. Such high stochastic reliability assessment of power grid supporting sustainable transportation. It's a challenge to maintain the reliability of the power system with plug hybrid energy vehicle penetration as the system reliability degrades with the increase of this vehicle penetration. And the negative impact is increased with fast charging, which requires a high power demand for a shorter duration. The negative reliability impact can, however, be mitigated by shifting and controlling the charging time and is an area of the ongoing research problem at the global level. We all are aware that three-phase AC power system has been in dominant position for over a century due to invention of transformer and the inherent characteristics from fossil energy-driven rotating machines. However, the gradual changes of load types and distributed renewable generation in AC local distribution system provides food for consideration of adding DC network. Renewable sources such as fuel cells and solar photovoltaic are DC inherent and should be connected to AC grid through DC-AC conversion techniques, whereas some AC inherent renewable sources like wind also needs DC link in their conversion system to increase efficiency and mitigate power variation caused by intermittency and uncertainty. The disadvantage of AC grid for connection of DC inherent sources and loads as well as AC loads with DC links is that additional DC to AC or AC to DC converters are required, which may result in efficiency loss from the reverse conversion. In the other hand, DC grids are resurging due to the development and deployment of renewable power sources and their inherent advantage for DC loads with commercial, industrial, and residential application. The number of power conversion in a DC microgrid has been significantly reduced to enhance system energy efficiency. So, there are so many parameters which need to be discussed in this. So, what I conclude, what we are basically concerned with, create more resilient, sustainable infrastructure and operation with intelligent asset management, monitoring, and predictive maintenance. Extend the life of energy system equipment, incorporate sustainable considerations, and use Internet of Things data, artificial intelligence, and energy to reduce operational downtime and costs. At the same time, environment is to be protected, CO2 has to be minimized, emission has to be minimized, and resources have to be used in a judicious manner. Now, you can yourself see this is a broad area of when we talk of sustainable technology. I mean, it's not only the electrical engineer, it's a job of electronics engineers, communication, and other allied engineers. And especially when we talk of power distribution systems, and the power electrons has come in a big way so far as making it more flexible and more reliable system. And we have basically received a lot many papers which will be detailed will be given you soon. So I officially declare this conference open and wish you best of luck during the presentations of the conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your influential message, sir. Thank you for giving us some knowledge on renewable technology for sustainability and the protection of environment. I am pleased to invite Dr. Anup Shukla, convener of the conference, to enlighten us with his words of wisdom.
Good morning to all. I think I'm audible to all of you. Good morning, Honorable Chief Guest, Professor S.N. Singh Sir, Guest of Honor, Professor Manoj Singh Gaur, IIT Jammu, Director IIT Jammu, as well as Honorable Rakesh Sehgalji, Director NIT Srinagar, as well all the delegates who are sitting on the dais. I welcome you, colleagues who are sitting in front of me, and all the participants from the worldwide who are joining in the hybrid mode, offline as well as online mode. I warmly welcome you all on the maiden edition of the International Conference of Sustainable Technology for Power and Energy System, STPES 2022, organized by NIT Srinagar with the collaboration of IIT Jammu at the most beautiful geographical location in India, and also known as Heaven in the Earth. So, theme of our conference is a step toward green, clean, reliable energy, with the vision upgrading the standard as well as the livelihood of the human beings all over the world, with the globe through ease of accessibility of green, clean, favorable as well as reliable energy. As we know, India renewable energy is the fourth most attractive renewable energy sector in the world market. And in the solar, we are at the 5th position after China, US, Japan, and Germany. And with the vision of Modi, Prime Minister, Honorable PM Modi, we are going to get 22 gigawatt within this December 100 gigawatt within this December 2022. As well, when we are talking about the wind energy, we are at the 4th position all over the world after China, US, as well as Germany. So we are dealing good in the renewable energy resources. Now the question comes, why we are going on this? Because as I already told you, the standard and the livelihood of the human being is increasing, but the resources and the space, they are under constraint. So that's why we are focusing toward the renewable energy, and we are concentrating a lot so that we can get a maximum energy from the nature that we get from God. So as the recent trends that we are working right now, we are working on the smart grid, smart city, and it's very happy that these areas we need a multidisciplinary work. And for that, we have to shake hand with our electronics guys, with our computer science and IT guys, with our power sector people that sitting in front of us, and with the honors which are sitting, the delegates which are sitting with us. They will guide us how to lead, how to make this India on the top within few years. So not taking your time much, I wish you all exciting, encouraging discussion so that together we can anticipate a future of good breaking knowledge toward the research technology for the humanity as well as for our nation. Last but not the least, my deepest gratitude to our organizing committee, advisory board, international scientific committee, program technical committee, all the reviewers who have given their time to review 148 papers, all sponsors on the Maiden International Conference. They have, trusted us and they have financially supported us. I like to thank them. Mostly Technosis System from Jaipur in Tripel, as well as Ramesh Traders. They are our technical supporters, as well as the IO. They are our hospitality supporters. So, but the most important, which always we forget, the beam, the most important part of this conference, and they are the student volunteers. Without them, nothing is possible, because they are our beam who help us not only organizing the events, and they work on the field, right? And so we look forward to the successful event of this conference and to take this baton of this national, international conference to the upcoming year. So the last one sentence, one motivational that I want to give to the students who are sitting in front of me, that is, I think the BTech as well as the MTech students are sitting, just a motivational words that I want to share with you. The guys who are sitting here, I'm not talking all the VVIPs who are sitting here, but you all are also VIP. Because this branch is VIP. Electrical engineer branch is VIP branch. And we are the VIPs. You know why? Because we always deal whole life on V, I, and P. We give a voltage on a circuit, which we always deal with RLC. And when we give a voltage in RLC, either they are the electronics, either they are the electrical, we always play in this RLC. And when we give a
Thank you for sharing the stats with us and also for boosting our branch, Electrical Engineering. I now request Professor Rakesh Sehgal, Director, NIT Srinagar, to engage the audience with his enthralling speech via the online meet. May we please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Professor S.N. Singh, Chief Guest of today's inaugural ceremony. Professor M.S. God, Guest of Honor for this inaugural ceremony. Professor M.F. Wani, Dean Research and Consultancy, NIT Srinagar. Professor S.K. Bukhari, Registrar. The convener for the conference, Professor Azaz Ahmed. The coordinators from NIT Srinagar and IIT Jammu, Dr. Jagdav Kushal, Dr. Abid Bazaz, Head of the Electrical Engineering Department, other faculty colleagues from various departments, dear participants who have joined online as well as offline mode, and dear students, a very good morning, namaskar and adab to all of you. At the very outset, I would like to extend a very hearty and warm welcome to this very important conference, which has a very important theme: energy, its generation and its optimal utilization, and other issues related to the energy. I would like to welcome all the participants to this conference, and at the same time I would like to congratulate the Electrical Engineering Department of NIT Srinagar and Electrical Engineering Department of IIT Jammu for taking a lead and collaborating to conduct this conference on a hybrid mode. I'm very grateful to Professor S.N. Singh, who has very kindly consented to visit personally and be the chief guest for this inaugural ceremony, as well as agreeing to address the audience with his keynote address. It's a very important topic, and a lot has been talked about the importance of energy generation, its distribution, and its optimal utilization, integrating it with other renewable sources of energy like wind energy, solar energy, hydel energy. It is a matter of great pleasure that electrical engineering department has taken this lead, and the level of conference which they are organizing definitely is going to be very high. As I was listening to the speaker from IIT Jammu, that around 148 papers have been reviewed by different reviewers from different organizations. I'm sure that the final proceedings of this conference will definitely address all these issues and come up with some solutions which are otherwise not available in many of these areas. I wish them all the best. I wish very useful discussions in the conference, and I want that at the end of on the last day, the panel discussion be held and certain recommendations be made, which can be forwarded to the power generation department or the PDD of Jammu and Kashmir state and other states, at least for discussion and adoption in their respective boards. Such type of conferences sometimes give a very important clue to some of the people who are just deciding to start their research. I'm sure that while the parallel sessions will be going on, some of the participants who have not yet started their research program, that is the doctoral program, will definitely get a spark or a clue to take up the research in a particular area. At NIT Srinagar, we have got very good facilities of research and development. We offer 8 undergraduate programs in engineering. We offer 15 postgraduate programs. Out of that, 12 programs are in engineering and 3 others are in humanities, social sciences, and management. We also offer postdoctoral programs. Around 400 students, candidates are registered with us for the postdoctoral and the doctoral programs. It's a very old institution, established in 1960 as third REC in the country in second 5-year plan. And I request all the participants who are available, who have joined here in offline mode and are available in Srinagar, they should visit our research facilities where we have established a central research facility center, water resource management center, our data center, and learning resource center, and even the facilities, some of the facilities in electrical engineering department that will definitely give them an idea about the kind of research we carry out in NIT Srinagar. So with these words, I would once again like to thank all the participants and all the guests for joining this important conference, and I wish them all the best and a very happy learning. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir, for illuminating. Hello. Thank Thank you so much, sir, for illuminating ideas and an inspirational speech. Can we have another round of applause for our director, sir, please? I now warmly welcome Professor Manoj Singh Gaur, Director, IIT Jammu, for joining us in our inaugural ceremony. May we please welcome him with a huge round of applause. May I now specially request Professor Manoj Singh Gaur, Director, IIT Jammu, to deliver the address online.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Audible, right? Okay. So, Namaskar, good morning. Thanks for inviting me and having me on this occasion, though in VC mode. I wanted to come in person, but somehow we have another event at IIT Jammu, which coincided with this function as well. Happy to be here in the first international joint conference, STPES 2022, which is sponsored by and partnered by IEEE. This partnered conference is a new and great initiative between NIT and IIT. We should do it more often, actually. Such partnered events, be it in Srinagar or Jammu, and at more places. Working together always helps and improve the capacity for all of us. IIT Jammu is young yet aspirational IIT. It's one of the 6 3G IITs, which was established in 2016. We are growing fast. We are growing with a plan, even while we have different kind of lockdowns around us in the last 2-3 years. Our teams of faculty and staff work very hard to achieve what you see all about IIT Jammu as on today. From very humble beginning with 90 students among 3 BTech programs in 2016, while mentored by IIT Delhi, we have grown to nearly 33 programs, typically when I include BTech, MTech, and PhD, in 11 disciplines, with 1350 students coming July 2022. We will continue to grow to around 2,500 students on our campus in next 4 or 5 years. Topic of this conference could not have been more inclusive and contemporary. Renewable energy, storage systems, power electronics, electrical drives, control systems, and cybersecurity from CPS perspective as well. We all need good and competent electrical power engineers with broad base for our country. We need power systems managers with growth mind who have capacity to go to the core of complex power systems as they are scaling up. The theme of the conference is sustainable technology for power and energy systems. Being sustainable, green, clean, and reliable energy is desirable and defined human development index of our times, our societies, whether east or west, whether developing or undeveloped countries. During our industrial revolutions, human society became more and more power hungry and started guzzling fossil fuel in different ways, affecting our climate adversely. We realized it. With sustained efforts and affordable options for non-fossil fuels, we have witnessed emergence of sustainable options around us in last couple of decades. But many of the attractive solutions, as we see, yet to be cost-effective and affordable. As for India, J&K is also looking forward to have increased capacity for reforms and capacity to manage emerging complex power systems. With times, the power utilities are changing, the demands of the consumers are changing, and they expect better quality of power supplies around us while keep on growing in different ways. The use and demands will also change with emergence of more electrical vehicles on the roads in private and public transport systems. On generation side, heterogeneity will continue to challenge our climate goals. Growth matching demands will add complexity for management. We are looking at data intelligent decision support systems, and complex interconnected grids. Information technology and OT, operation technology, uh, uh, parts are intertwined, and we need engineers who can understand both sides of IT and OT from cybersecurity point of view as well. The new and emerging systems of generation, transmission, and distribution companies need very capable engineers who understands technology, who can grow with technology to the core and take up things with passion and commitment. To generate such capacity, our institutions will have to work hard for such builders, designers, engineers who do not shirk complexities, who can innovate to find better solution, uh, who can dare to dream big in all domains of electrical power systems. Our institutions have a responsibility to produce graduates of very high caliber. We have to more experiential as well as updated when we teach in the classrooms and conduct research in the labs. Nothing could be more translational than power systems engineering for a country like India. It is very heartening to see that even in this first edition of it could able to attract the best talent. Hope all the attendees in person or in VC mode will get exposed to the latest in the domain and will get enriched with the sharing of the ideas, networking, and knowledge. Many congratulations to all the organizer team, including our young team of IIT Jammu and NIT Srinagar, who have worked very hard, created such a rich programs, and one of the most beautiful venues in India, that is Srinagar. Very best wishes to all the participants in person and online. Looking forward to many more editions of this conference in future. Thank you very much for your attention.
Kind words. Can we have another round of applause for IIT Jammu Director, Professor Manoj Singh Gaur? We have with us Engineer Shuchi Kani Lala, CEO, IT, KPDCL, JKPDD. May we please welcome him with a huge round of applause. May I please request engineers. May I please request Engineer Shuchi Kani Lala to have his distinguished seat on the dais. Can we have a huge round of applause, please? We need an enthusiastic audience out there. And I request Dr. Kushal Chopra to present the bouquet to Engineer Shuchi Kani Lala to grace his presence. A huge round of applause, please. Thank you, sir. I would now like to invite Professor M.F. Fani, Dean RNC, NIT Srinagar, to share his thoughts. A huge round of applause, please.
Honorable Chief Guest, Professor S.L. Singh, Director, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, Indian Institute of Information Technology, Gwalior. Honorable Director, NIT Srinagar, Professor Rakesh Sehgal, Honorable Director, IIT Jammu, Professor Manoj Singh Gaur, Professor Ejaz Ahmed Zargar, Chairman of this conference, Head Electrical Engineering Department, Professor Bazar Saab, Dr. Mubul Bhan, Professor of Electrical Engineering Department, and our ex-faculty, Mr. Surjit Saab, and our co-chairman, co-convener of this conference from IIT Jammu, the faculty on dais and faculty in front of me, my dear students and colleagues. I am very happy to be here, to tell you frankly, but I am very disappointed to be here. If you ask me why, I will tell you, but before that I will recite one poetry from Allama Iqbal. खुदा तुझे किसी तूफान से आशना करे कि तेरी बहर की मौजों में इज़्तिराब नहीं। दूसरा शेर में पढ़ूं, आगे आती थी हाल दिल पर हंसी, अब किसी बात पर नहीं आती। I will just discuss a little bit of sustainability technology and energy systems. We should look back to our past and look forward to 50 years ahead, what is going to be in India. Increase in temperature is a global phenomenon. Requirement of energy is a global phenomenon because you are developing the industries, you cannot stop your development. You need energy resources. And you have to keep a balance between your requirements and energy resources than the industries. All of us know that electric vehicles, it's quite misnomer that this electric vehicle can save you from the hazards of environment. I totally disagree with the way the electric vehicle was developed in our country. If you recharge your electric vehicles on fossil fuel, you are doing again biggest blunder on this planet. You must never do it. That's why I was saying that मुझे आगे आती थी हाल हंसी, अब किसी बात पर नहीं आती. I see every day there is violation of environment, and whatever methods we use, they are not compatible with our energy, with our planet. Why we are going for sustainable energy now? Why not 50 years before? We should plan, and now we should plan at least 50 years ahead. Yesterday, our Minister for Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, was saying that we have a carbon-free environment. And India has taken also challenge. You must know Paris Treaty, you must say the Tokyo Treaty. They are on papers, but no country is, no developing and developed country is doing anything to save our environment. If you are discussing a very serious issue, the Electric Engineering Department has organized this conference. They are discussing a very serious issue. There are two issues involved in this. One is energy, another is sustainability. But I take them as only one. I call it sustainability energy system. Because we are living in a system. We cannot remain away from our forests, from our fossil fuel, from our rivers, from our environment, from our green gardens, from our rivers, from ocean, from the wind energy, from the tidal energy, from other resources of energy. But I was discussing, I think 2-3 years before with one professor from IIT Bangalore, his close friend of mine. He said he is not satisfied with the way India is using this solar system. Because why? There's a reason for that. Unless we have a life cycle assessment of what this solar system is going to do, there is no policy for disposal of solar systems. It is an issue. And if you are organizing this conference, you are discussing a very serious issue of the not only India, but whole world. These are global issues now. This is not the issue for India only, this is the issue for all developed as well as the developing countries. The electric energy which we are using from the nuclear power stations, there was an issue in the Tohoku power plant. This was a nuclear power plant. that in the tsunami, it was going to create a big catastrophe. And it was not known to them how to shut down this plant. So there are big challenges ahead of us. We must know that the energy requirements are increasing day by day, because if you want to see the disease of electric department, you must see the Kashmir only. Because the biggest example is our electric system in Jammu and Kashmir. I must tell you frankly, because the way our system is working does not have anything in it as a system. They put 2-3 poles at a time. They put transformers. Next day they take it off. There is no policy. What is government doing? I don't know what is government doing, because this is their duty to see that their system should work well. The wires are so loose that it is hardly acceptable in the modern technology. Sometimes they will put smart meters, sometimes they will put other meters, but there is no policy at all to save an energy system. If you don't work like this, please be serious about the issues. And I just address to my younger generation, because we are gone now. We have compromised with all these things over the past 50 years, I must tell you frankly. Because in this hall, Professor Zargar is here, he will witness me. We were sitting in an international conference, a national conference in 1987. Perhaps in 1986 or 87, there was no fan in this hall, and the hall was jam-packed. There was no issue of temperature. Perhaps same season. But now you see the condition of this hall. Half is filled, but still we are feeling here very hot and humid. You must be sensitive to your issues of environment, to energy system. We are using a lot of electric gadgets at home, ACs. We are creating problems for poor people. Then they have their own, they do theft of the electricity, because we are not able to provide them electricity at reasonable rates. You have to have a system-based energy system, which will have every database in it. How many poor people are there? How many rich people are there? And you have to charge the people now heavily for everything, for municipality disposable, for electricity, for water supply. You should be very serious. Government should be very serious about these issues, because we cannot afford to cut down the electricity during a day, 2 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours during winter. And then our peak hours demand hours have worse situation than this. Because we are sitting in NIT, we don't know what is happening in the village, what is happening in remote areas. The India has taken a lead in providing electricity in every village, but you must see how much electricity is available there now. And we have to have a robust system of electricity now. That is the second problem, because our electricity should not go down when we have heavy snow, when we have winds, etc. in our places. And I always request my electric department that they should generate a database for next 50 or 60 years for what is the requirement of this duty of Jammu and Kashmir in terms of electric energy resources and electric energy development produced, and how much is the consumption. We must have a clear data, and what should be our policy. Which energy resources we should tap and which will not affect our environment. We have to be very, very serious. Youngsters should take a lead in this case, because we have young engineers who can become managing directors tomorrow at young age, because we become deans at the fake end of our service when we don't have any power. This is a very, I repeat it, very, very serious issue which we are discussing. Energy, sustainability, then system. If we don't have any system, we will not succeed in next 50 years also to provide good resource of energy. I must congratulate, and I'm thankful to the Electric Engineering Department and also IIT Jammu and NIT Srinagar for organizing this event. And I hope during the few days of this conference, It has been carried in the hybrid mode, which is online as well as offline. I don't know how many papers will be there. I hope they will have a special session while they will discuss about the problems of electric system in Jammu and Kashmir UT. That should be specially taken care of, because now we are in a situation where we have to see whether we should go with the present system which is there in vogue in Jammu and Kashmir, or we should try to find some other means of adopting some other system which will be really eco-friendly, public domain based, which will not disturb our ecology, which will tap our resources, and in a very nice way. I wish all the success to the organizers of this international conference, and I wish success to the electric engineering department and both NIT Srinagar and IIT Jammu. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello? Thank you. Thank you. Hello? Hello? Thank you so much, sir. The address was really amazing. It has filled our audience with enthusiasm. I would now like to invite Engineer Sujit Garvidala, CEO IIT, KPDCL, JKPDD, to share his thoughts with us. A huge round of applause.
Professor SNC, coordinator of this conference, Professor Vijay, my dear colleagues from the electrical engineering department, Abid, Habib sir, faculty from IIT Jammu, Professor Farooq sir from mechanical, and dear friends, dear colleagues, and dear students. Thanks a lot for inviting me to this conference. So I'd like to say in the beginning that sustainable power energy development is a very broad term, and everybody has a role to play in this. Every side, be it mechanical side, the IT and communication side, the non-conventional energy side, they have a big role to play. And first of all, the power sector of this country. So if at all we have to move towards sustainable development in the broad terms, the power sector needs to be reformed. And where do we stand today? Do we have any initiatives? Have we taken any initiatives in this regard? Yes, we have started some way back in 2007 with IT intervention in power sector. Without IT intervention, handling a very big power sector like that of the whole country is impossible. And what is the situation like? Where do we stand today in terms of losses and their reduction? Do we have any schemes? I will give a detail of that in my presentation at 3:30. But this time I would like to say that the situation is very precarious. The situation is very tense. The power requirement of the country has crossed 200 gigawatts long back. We are at 210 gigawatts right now. And the losses are huge. The overall losses in the country are 22%. And in terms of peak power, it means about 40 gigawatts. That means 40 gigawatts of power is being used to supply only the losses. This is equivalent to about 45 power plants of Baghlihar. Baghlihar is 900 megawatts of peak. So about 45 plants of Baghlihar are used for supplying power losses. That's a very grave situation. What about the initiatives? The initiatives have taken place long back. The results are coming slow, not at the desired pace. The concern of the Ministry of Power is that the results should actually come fast.
So there is a holistic approach with regard to the terms of the technology to be used, the Indian market, whether it can cope up with this requirement, the requirement of technology intervention. The technology interventions are of many types. For example, one of the technology interventions is network intervention, where we actually replace the old conductor, we replace it by a new conductor, new lines are being created. The losses in the system, the technical losses in the system are being reduced, they are being tackled. The other half of the losses, which is actually commercial losses, is something which is to worry about. There is a huge chunk of power going into the commercial losses. The commercial losses are like we are not able to realize what we build. The first thing is that we are not able to raise the bill which is actually due. So both these combined, then we are not able to realize that. So this constitutes commercial losses. And this chunk is very huge. Unless and until we go in a direction where the power sector reforms are achieved in full, we will not be in a position to actually roll out sustainable energy development. That is the bottom line. Then the other interventions like smart metering is here, a very, very promising intervention. IT has shown that it can handle problems which are non-technical in nature as well as technical. We have been able to handle non-technical problems, administrative problems, management problems with the intervention of IT. That is a great thing. There was a problem with the power sector earlier. I'm talking about 1 decade back, that the consumer had no faith whether he is paying the bill to the person or to the government. He had no faith whether the cost of the electricity he is paying is going into the government chest. That was long way back. That has been handled. The money is coming to the chest of the government, but now there is another worry. That is the field measurement of energy record is not coming exactly, is not coming faithfully to the department so that billing can be done properly. So that intervention is actually presently being handled by means of smart metering. There are other interventions, but smart metering has shown that it has the promise of handling the power losses and reducing them as per the timeline requirements of the government. There is a huge target on the head of the power companies. About 250 million smart meters have to be installed by 2025, and by 2026 we have to go for prepaid metering strictly. So a huge challenge for the power sector. The sustainability of this intervention is very important. The IT infrastructure needs to be created. The companies of India, the meter shortage in particular. I want to quote one instance that one of the impediments of smart metering in JNK is supply of smart meters. Due to COVID, there was a huge impact on production. All of you know that. So that actually hit the production of IT equipment in general. So one of the challenges is the supply chain management, maintaining that supply chain and ensuring supply of the smart meters. I will show you the dashboard as well, where one of the parameters is supply of meters as well. And there is another intervention, that is replacement of the open conductor with the aerial bunched cable and insulated cable. Again, it has shown that the results are very, very encouraging. So what I mean is that our sector has a very, very important role to play, which cannot be underestimated, and which will show the way to sustainable development. The other area is non-conventional energy. There have been interventions where about 500 gigawatts was the target, and a lot of it has been achieved. But there are challenges there as well. If you talk about sustainable energy development, then it has to be environment friendly as well. So we cannot afford having a non-conventional intervention which will be dangerous for the environment, like too much of batteries, which is very difficult to dispose of. And the other one, you know that wind power energy, which was showing the promise for sustainable development and reducing the dependence on the grid, unless and until we find a proper way of disposing of the material which is worn out in the wind power energy, we are not truly in sustainable development path. So, huge task, big challenges to come, but the results are encouraging. Smart metering has shown that it is a possibility. We will see a morning when the ATC losses of the country will be under control, and we will be in a position to supply power to everybody. This summer was a big challenge all over India when coal supply chain got affected, and had the losses actually been reduced, which is actually a measure of recovering of power from the sector. Had we gone earlier for loss recovery, we would not have faced a very harsh summer this year. So, very good conference, sir. I am delighted to be here, and I hope that I arouse interest in the audience by way of smart metering details. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Thomas, sir. The address was very fluent and full of passion, and also the stats from the power sector were very informative. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel honored and privileged to welcome our esteemed chief guest, Professor Srinagar Singh, Director, IIT Gwalior, who possesses an unparalleled long-standing experience as an academician, to kindly address the gathering with his valuable words. Can we please welcome him with a huge round of applause?
Yes, good morning to all of you. People sitting on the dais, the dean, head of department, chairman of the conference, co-conveners known as Kushal, and many other distinguished personalities sitting in this hall, and of course, dear students and the volunteers. It is my privilege to be here, and you know this is a beautiful place in the world. When I got the invitation, I could not stop myself to come into this place. Not all the time. The two eminent personalities, means two directors, one from NIT Srinagar and IIT Jammu, and they are the technologists of national importance. They are joining in this inaugural session. This is a very unique combination, which I say that the two best technical institutions of the Jammu and Kashmir, they are jointly coming and trying to have one very important topic on the power and energy for the sustainable development. There you can see, this is one word first starting, the title of this conference, one is the first. First should be best also. And it should not be the end, it should be continuously to be there. And I hope the organizer will see maybe the alternate years. They will keep on evolving in the Srinagar and Jammu every alternate, and they should live this conference and also popularize this in the great extent. So that is my request. Maybe in the next year it should be in the Jammu. And again, I come back in the third year again in the Srinagar. So it can keep on evolving, and we can discuss the various problems, various challenges of the nation, of this state, so that we can have the sustainable energy model in the various aspects. Second word is IEEE. I think many of you will be knowing this is not all, and you know there is a 10 regions basically defined, office in the headquarters, New Jersey. This we are having the 10 region, 1 to 6 are the US itself. 7th is your Canada. 8th is big portion of the world, that is complete Europe, Russia, Africa, and the Middle East. 9th is Latin American country, and 10th is Asia Pacific, where we belong. The Asia Pacific, we are having the largest in population, and also the largest in the member, other than US. We are having approximately 1.25 lakhs members. Those are starting from your Japan, China, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and also coming to the Australia, New Zealand. So all that is portion completely. And out of that, India is having 50% of members. There is more than 50,000 members are here. And India is also in whole Asia Pacific. We are having approximately 59 sections, and you belong to the elite section. In India, we are having now the 13 sections. Recently, one of the MP section was created, and this is the country which is having in Asia Pacific the largest number of sections. And in that, this Delhi section is the largest one because it's covering many states, starting with Himachal, Jammu, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, and Delhi, of course. So this is also having the largest population in that membership wise, and this is basically sponsored by this. Now, I'll come to the conference. So you can say third word is the international, of course, is a conference, papers, etc. And IEEE itself is international. Why I'm talking all this IEEE? Because I want to give you knowledge. Because many of our previous speakers talk about the sustainability, talk about the power and energy. I'll be also, even though talking after this break, I'll be again giving 1 hour lectures on especially. I have the 2 choices, and choice will be given to you. You should decide on which topic I have to talk, because I can talk on any topic without even the PPT, but I have the 2 PPT right now, and I'll ask the choice to you where you want to listen me on that. So I'll come to that. What this conference, always we engineers always think, why conference? It is to publish the paper. Why we are organizing the conference? We can publish the paper without organizing conferences. We can have the various type of, even the journals, those are in the print mode, online mode, many conferences. Publication options are there, but the conferences are the way we connect each other. It is not only way of the publication. Publication you can do in many ways. So the connecting the people, why we are using the WhatsApp? To have the socially connected. This conference gives the platform to technically connected. And it is an opportunity where you can express your idea. You can try to convince the people what you are doing in terms of presentation of papers. And no doubt the journal papers are also reviewed by a few reviewers. They give the comment, it is not going to the public. But here, once you are discussing amongst the forum, you get a lot of feedback. Even though you listen to various eminent personalities in the different area. And I can see here the 4 photos are there in the corners of this banner. And, you know, always I believe the engineer should have the very good observational skill. When I came in this room, I saw the 4 figures. And I know all the 3 people except 1. You know who? It is me. I don't know more about myself, but I know other 3 very well. Because from me, you must be knowing, I'm not knowing that completely. So that is basically, should have the observational skill. All of these 4 guys are very well connected to me. I know them very well. And they are doing good research in their fields, especially, you can say the Francisco. We had many projects with them. We even though visited the UK and he was in the Norway. Now he is moving to again the Canada and US. So he visited many times, and we organized many various type of FDPs and the conference. Shukmar Misra from IIT Delhi, you know, he's a good researcher and a lot of work and publications he has. And you can find this is the 3rd guy, the Nand Kishore. He was in MNIT Allahabad. Now again he's in Norway and he's doing a lot of projects. Even I have been doing a Norwegian project with him. So this conference is one platform that is very, very useful. It is not that sometimes even here you saw the many speakers, even though you are also listening me, but you may not like my speech. But you learn a lot from my speech that you should, for example, if a good speaker is there and is speaking, you learn a lot. But if you are listening a bad speaker, you learn even though better than that. How? That you should not be that type of speaker in the future. Always we learn something from the success, but we learn more from the unsuccessful. So you young guys, that it is not that the success is always with you. If you are getting the failures, don't be harassed or don't be even frustrated. It is maybe something good is waiting for you, always I say to my student. And that is basically the importance I want to give you a message to you. Here, the two guys, I know this Anup and the Kushal. I don't know they have the power or not, but I'm sure they are having huge energy. The power may be coming from external sources, but energy is very well divided. And you know, the UN has the 17 the Sustainable Development Goal. When there is a development, the question of sustainability always there. We cannot exhaust our resources all the time, because once you are exploiting our resources, there may be the lack of the resources, and maybe we can land up in the dark age. That's why it is a term which is the sustainability and the development, they are the conflicting objectives. Because you are going to develop, of course you require the resources. So those are basically now the main theme, that we have to go for the development, that is the need of the hour. At the same time, we have to take how we can be the sustainable for the future. And that's why the energy sustainability is one of them out of 17 goals. This is on the dais. You can see one interesting person is there. He talked about the losses. He talked about the requirement of the future of the energy. Because without energy, no nation can develop. And that is one of the prime parameter of, as you know, what is the per capita consumption of any country that is there. That's why that is the rank, which is one is the developed, which is in the developing, and which is the underdeveloped. So the energy is the very prime parameters that we have to basically have the development in the sustainable part. And that is basically the main theme of this country. Here, I also heard a lot of papers are going to be presented both online and offline modes, and that will be very, very useful. And there will be 4 or 5 keynote speeches. Try to listen to them. Because they are not only 1 hour lecture, they are going to tell completely maybe one book for you. Because they have a wide knowledge, wide experiences, and that will be completely coming a package to you in 1 hour. And certainly then you will be realizing all the words we coined very well. Even though in electrical we say smart grid, intelligent grid, now people are talking the green grid. These adjectives keep on adding, the grid is the same. So why we are adding? Actually, we have to give the new flavor. We have to achieve certain objectives because these words are used and then we are moving. So here also you find the people will be talking in the different areas that will be certainly benefit, not maybe the today, maybe your tomorrow. So always I say, try to listen your good speakers. You are going to get a lot of lessons that will be useful for your careers, and that will be another thing. So I'll not take much time because program is running very on time, just I checked. And here only I'll say, I wish that this conference will be having a platform that you can, once you walk out after the 3 days, 4, 5, 6, you should have something in your hand in terms of your knowledge enhancement, in terms of your connectivity, both technically and socially that you can meet, and also try to interact the people during your lunches, during the tea times, or wherever you get the time, and try to explore. This is a word, is very beautiful word. So I wish this conference a grand success, and I really congratulate all the people, those are behind the scene, especially the young volunteers, because no function, no event can be organized without their support. No doubt, in front of you, your whole departments, and this NIT Srinagar, along with the two, again, the conveners and the chairmen, along with, I say, all the you volunteers, basically holding the responsibility. This is also a learning message, how to organize a program that you get also along with the technical. So that's why the conferences are very, very useful for all these things. So I thank NIT Srinagar for this administration, for this organizing a beautiful conference and more. And also, I say, those are the soldering this complete conference, so they should keep on doing in the future as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your visionary words. The address was truly inspiring. Thank you for sharing the international stats on sustainability. It is our pleasure to have you with us. I'm sorry. We will surely try to organize more such events. I would like to call upon stage Dr. Kushal Jagtap, Conference Secretary, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Hello. First of all, I would like to welcome all delegates which are on the dais and off the dais. Hello, and all participants. This is the first IEEE International Conference on Sustainable Technology for Power and Energy System, which is organized by Department of Electrical Engineering of NIT Srinagar and IIT Jammu, which is collaboratively we are organizing this conference. And this conference is headed by Chairman of Conference, Professor Ijaz Ahmed sir, convener of this conference, Anup Shukla sir, he is from IIT Jammu, and our head of the department, Dr. Abid Bajaj sir, they all are heading this conference. In this conference, we received 148 papers, and out of 148 papers, we have accepted 98 papers. Out of that 98 papers, all 98 papers had get registered. According to IEEE, in order to maintain the quality of the papers or quality of the conference, we have to accept 70% of paper which we are received. But in our conference, our acceptance rate is 66%, which is our conference is more qualitative. So this is this is the first conference, and we are providing the quality content in that for the IEEE Explore. So with that word, I will what is called end this inauguration function. But before ending the inauguration function, I would like to thank our chief guest, Professor S.N. Singh sir. Then I would like to thank our guest of honor, Professor Manoj Gaur sir, Director of IIT Jammu. And then I would like to thank Professor Rakesh Saigal sir, Director of NIT Srinagar. Again, I would like to thank Professor Ijaz Ahmed sir, Chairman of the conference. Convener, and I would like to show my gratitude toward Anup sir, who is the convener of this conference, and he helped me a lot remotely. Every time he is encouraging, and whatever the difficulties I am facing regarding the reviewer and what is called any communication, even for authors or reviewers, he is helping a lot. And apart from that, I would like to thank our HOD sir and A.S. Bhatt sir, who is the coordinator of this conference. He helps a lot for everything. Yesterday also, we are facing internet problem, and A.S. Bhatt sir solved that problem within a minute. Means only yesterday I contact, and morning he solved that issue. And we know that without internet, organizing such kind of hybrid conference, it is quite difficult. And all this event is headed and what is called guided by our HOD sir. That is Dr. Bajaj sir. And with this word, I would like to thank for coming for this inauguration function. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It is now time for high tea. Our respective delegates and faculty members will be served here in the common hall. I request the audience and the volunteers to move outside the common hall for high tea. Well, requesting everybody to be back by 5 minutes to 12 so that we can resume the session online.
इसका हम माइक कर दें
जरा प्लीज मुझे नहीं पसंद है
international conference team
इसके आगे ठीक से ये पाकर वो उधर ले जाए आगे ठीक से मैं कर सकता हूँ चलो ओके 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 ठीक से अचानक बैठ ठीक है इसको निकाल ये लगा यस
Ali bhai, ये देशों ऑडियो सिस्टम में यार. Sun batteries use them. Check it from batteries. हम सर जैसे नई बैटरीज हम बैठ इसको जगह छोड़ो सदा सही जाए मिसवान ये वो तलाक होना नहीं हो इसको पीयूष इसका नाम क्या है इसको इसका पीयूष 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 बैटरीज थी ना आपके पास जरा वो दे दे नहीं 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 दे दो इधर दे दो ये दोनों ब्रेक चल रहे हैं ना हाँ हाँ नहीं नहीं इसको हमें चाहिए ना हाँ लगा ली स्क्रीन शेयर कर हाँ लगा ली आपने मेरा लैपटॉप बंदा कर दिया पहले तो इसका वो फाइल कोई बात नहीं इसको मैं दो के दूंगा यार इनको समझ में नहीं आता क्या ये माइक ऑन है तो इसमें बोलते दे दे अरे यार छोड़ छोड़ अभी देखते हैं इसको ये इसको हिलाते हैं ना बार बार ये ले मैं करता हूँ इसको सर अरे इसका देखते हैं दूसरे का कहाँ रखा है इसको दूसरे का सीधा रखा दिए अब एकदम से एक सेकंड इसको मैं भी ऑफ करूं क्या हेलो 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 क्या इसको सेट करना उसको पीछे ले और ये उसको वॉल्यूम बढ़ा के हो जाएगी इसको देख पहले इसको सेट करना रुक जा इसकी वायर आई है यहाँ से ला इसको आप स्पीकर पे चलो स्पीकर पर क्या बात चला म्यूजिक हाई बंद राइट ठीक है ग्लिम्पसेस ऑफ NIT ये उसने खोल थी उस एक्सट्रा से उसी कट वो साउंड टेस्ट पे क्या करूँ छोड़ दे उसको इसी पे ले जा पावर सेविंग क्यों कर रहा है पावर सेविंग ये बढ़िया एकदम करीम धन में माइक के बंद जरा हल्का साउंड रख दो ज्यादा तेज आ रहा है सही है ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है आप इतना भी मत सोचा करो इतना सोचते थे भी तो चिकर साइमल्टेनियसली थे ऑन कुछ नहीं हेलो हेलो प्लस बढ़ाओ मास्टर किसका फिर भी देख यहाँ एक माइक रख हाँ ठीक है एक वहाँ पे रख बस यही चाहिए यहाँ हम दोनों चाहिए अच्छा नहीं होगा हाँ रख दो ये हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर कैमरा को हाँ सर इस कैमरे को हाँ अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम
हेलो